Welcome to Just a Farm Wife with your host, Tara Emerson. Tara is a farm wife, photographer, mom, author, public speaker, and much more. On this podcast, Tara takes listeners on a journey through all aspects of life and how we can create future growth. This podcast helps to empower women to believe they are more than the labeling that society hands them. And remember, you are never just in anything.
Hello and welcome back. I'm here with Kyle Miller. Kyle is a narcissistic abuse coach.
Yes.
Easy for me to say. Welcome, Kyle.
Thank you.
Generally, I don't have men on the show, so everybody, this is gonna get wild.
Thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate it. And also for being a guy on your podcast. I recognize that's not necessarily always easy, and there's probably lots of different reasons for that.
Yeah, there is. This show is really about empowering women, but I've seen a lot of things. Narcissistic abuse has been a really big focal point in my life. But first, tell me a little bit, like, how long have you been an abuse coach, and do you work with men and women, both? Like, tell me what you do.
Yeah, it's been just over almost 3.5 years actually, that I've been coaching on this specifically. And I work with men and women. I have more women clients than I have men. I would like to have more guys that would like to do the work. I would really love that. But it just ends up most of the time that it's more likely women are going to be reaching out and asking for help and support. So it's still kind of it's a thing as far as guys not wanting to get help or ask for help or all of that. But yeah, definitely have some wonderful guys that I work with, and the women, of course, wonderful as well.
Yeah. So. Well, and I feel like women are in this really big transition to empowering who they really are. So I feel like that's probably why you are seeing more women, is because we were kind of stuck in the dark ages for quite some time, right? And we were told that we couldn't do a lot of things. And now we're seeing this shift, and we're allowed to feel our feelings and we're allowed to really understand the world around us in a really different way. The reason that I asked you on the show is because I have had narcissism in my life since I was born. And the patterns that we have, coming from birth and the way we were raised and all of those things, really, it sets you up for what type of adult life you're going to have, right?
Yeah, so much.
And yes, and if you spend your childhood in that situation, you're either going to stay there and keep cycling and keep repeating those patterns, or you're going to finally say, enough is enough.
Yeah.
I can't do this anymore. And you're going to find help for yourself. Right.
Yeah. Well, and that's, I think, when clients come to me, it's like the major, whatever the major thing was, this was the
point.
Yeah, this was the breaking point, and now I need help. And I think a lot of them are thinking, gosh, if I can get through this abusive relationship that I was in, then I can move on. And I'm like, that's the abusive relationship is like the tip of the iceberg. And so once we work through that, then the real work begins, because you probably had a whole lifetime of things that you went through in order to lead you into that relationship. And it's really, it's hard. It's I even hear people say, oh my gosh, don't say that, because in some ways it feels even more daunting to to really work through things. And also at the same time, I'm not going to lie to anybody. This is the real reality of it. And it is hard work, but it also leads to so many more amazing things in your life.
Right. So many rewards. One thing I've noticed in my own community is that
Hmm.
narcissistic abuse, like, people don't really understand exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Like, they've never heard of it. And to me, it's a buzzword, right?
Yeah.
Because I've
Yep.
already been through it. So, like, when you went through it, you like
Hmm.
get all these, the algorithm, right, shows you all the things that.
Yep.
But what about those people that don't actually know what it is? Like, what would be the easiest way to describe it?
I think the easiest, the thing that most people come to me is they're like, I feel like I'm crazy. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like I'm the problem. I feel like there's no resolution that ever happens in my relationship, in any of the struggles or fights or any of those things that happen. And those are the biggest things. It's like you never get closure on any argument or anything that's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Very much everything seems like a double standard. So you can't do all of these things, and it seems like maybe they kind of do some of those same things that you can't do,
Well, it's
except,
usually all of them, right? It's
yeah,
like
yeah, but it's,
everything they're accusing you of doing, they're
yeah,
doing to you already.
yeah, yeah,
It's a point of deflection.
but it's hard, most of that we don't pick up, and we don't actually see all of that until after we get out of the relationship.
Sure.
It's a huge, awesome, not that it's awesome, but it's an awesome thing to see a few of those things so that you can
Sure.
start putting the pieces together, which is what, really unravels a lot of the relationships. And it's, it's things like, well, you can't have friends of the opposite sex, except they do. um and just little things like that that are, that we don't necessarily pick up on, because they always have a really legitimate, justification for why that's okay for them or why they need to do this. They're very, very good at using language against us, and
Oh,
making
yes.
us feel
Yes.
like we're the problem, which is kind of a lot of what all of that comes around to. Is we feel like we're the problem. I can't even count most of the clients that I have. They have asked me, I'm worried about this because I think maybe I'm the narcissist. And
Yeah. That's
I'm
your
like,
number one sign,
"Y-
probably, that you're not.
yeah, yeah,
Because the narcissist doesn't worry about being a narcissist.
yeah, yeah." And I've had a couple people that I suspect. I don't know. I don't diagnose. I'm a coach. I'm not a therapist. So, but
Right.
I've had a couple of different calls that I suspect that person was probably a narcissist that was
Oh,
on the call.
fascinating.
And those calls are so different than the ones where I'm like, there's no way that you're the narcissist
Mm-hmm.
in this. Because when I've spoken with those people, everything is about the other person, and everything that, what do I need to do different so that they'll do this, or so that I can get them to do
Yeah.
this, or it's so very focused on what the other person is doing or not doing, or what they want them to do. It's so much control in the whole conversation. And and when I really call them out and bring that up, they almost immediately dismiss it, or they just go right back to, well, yeah, but how do I get them to do this? you know and
Sure.
and it's very interesting, especially from my standpoint, being completely detached from all of these different people, especially if they're coming in just to have a conversation. And so anyway, but I see, because I didn't see it either. I was 14 years in an abusive relationship, and
Oh, wow.
I didn't see it until about the last 6 or 8 months, probably. I had
Okay.
no idea, and I thought that I was the problem. I thought that I didn't have any empathy or compassion for anyone else. And that was, luckily I had a good friend of mine that I told that, and he said, "Well, I call F and BS on that." And and that rocked my world because I really believed that I just simply didn't have any empathy or compassion for anyone else. And that was why I was causing all of the problems. But so it's a lot of that. I'm not that I'm grateful that I went through it, but I am grateful that I went through it because I understand that most people just have no idea what they're going through and what's happening while they're going through it.
Right. Right. Well, and it's kind of, I mean, that's where you talk about it. We have to, the narcissistic relationship is the tip of the iceberg. We have to work backwards as to where our self-worth is. Why wouldn't we believe ourselves? You know, like all of those things.
Yeah.
Why would we believe that we don't have empathy? I mean, we're the ones who should know who we are, right?
Yeah.
But if you've been brought up in a different way and I feel like the most empathetic and kindest people are the people who narcissists prey on the most.
It's one of, I mean, I hate what they've gone through, but one of the unbelievable privileges that I have is that I get to talk to the absolute most amazing people in the whole world. I mean, my clients and the people that follow me and like all of those people are they're just unbelievable human beings. And it's devastating at the very same time because they have just been destroyed, you know, and it's a lot of the reason that I do this work. Because I know what it's like to go through, and the more of these people that I talk to, the more that I'm just like, oh man, they're just such unbelievably good, genuine people. And they've just been put through hell. And so,
and it seems like those people also have the greatest ability to growth. They just it's just been distorted in a certain way and used against them instead of continuing on with the growth. But I mean that all stems too, like with creating boundaries for yourself and knowing being so strong in self.
In a lot of ways, it comes from control, and us wanting to have control, and not meaning us being controlling, because those are two very different things. But so many people, the only control that we had, you know, most of the people that have gone through, you know, whatever upbringing that brought them into that kind of relationship, the only control they had was to do something about themselves. You know, what do I need to do different so that I'm not treated this way? So, you know, so that everything,
so safety within the environment that I'm in.
It's the only thing that I can do. So in a way, it kind of pre-programs us to work on ourselves a lot, because it's the only thing that we figured out that can even start to create some sort of safety for us. Because nothing was safe. So I don't know what else to do here other than to try and change myself. And there must be something wrong with me, and I need to do something different or better or whatever in order to be enough. And then maybe if I'm enough, then maybe I won't be treated this way. Yeah.
Well, and it happens in all kinds of relationships, not just intimate relationships. Right? Like, it can happen with parents. It can happen with, well, obviously romantic relationships. It can happen with friends, coworkers, like, and
bosses. I mean, and it's, I think so much of it, what I didn't realize was how many relationships that I had that were either avoidant or were narcissists. And it just was every area of my life. And I think then, you know, the healthier you get, the more of those other relationships you're like, okay, well, that was good. I'm glad that one wasn't a narcissist, but also not very healthy, maybe either.
Right. Right. I felt like it seemed like the narcissistic relationships in my life got louder and louder and louder until I finally was able to break free of all of them. So it was like, okay, this one relationship that I had with a parent, that was a narcissistic relationship. I went no contact, like all of these things. And you're like, okay, things are better. And it's kind of like you baby step through them.
Yeah.
And the more that you learn and grow about yourself, it seems like the more relationships you're like, oh, okay, I'm gonna try interacting a little bit differently with you, and let's see how that goes. And and then it doesn't go well, obviously. And then you keep cutting those relationships out of your life, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, I woke up to the biggest narcissist that I had in my life. It wasn't so much of all of these little ones. It was like this big glaring relationship, and you're like, oh, okay.
Well, and I think that's
how it happened for me. But I don't have a narcissistic relationship like with my spouse. It was family members and friends and that sort of thing.
Yeah. And I think it happens. I mean, we want to look at what's the way that this happens, so that I know to look out for it. Just like, talking about the narcissistic tendencies and all of that, all of the buzzwords, gaslight, oh, they're gaslighting me. And it never looks the same. It always looks different. And so, for me, I didn't realize there were so many other toxic people in my life until I realized that I was married to a not very healthy person. And so I think it always looks different, which is what makes it so hard. And I wanted to touch too on, because all the buzzword terms, and narcissism's a big one, gaslighting's another one. And so starting with narcissism, there are all of these different narcissistic traits that people talk about. And one of the things that makes it really challenging is because there are all of these traits that all line up also with codependency and with CPTSD and with ADHD and insecure attachment and probably a whole host of other things. And there are not all of the narcissistic traits, but there's a large majority of all of those traits that all they're all in every single one of those different issues, I guess we could call them, but they're driven from a different place. Because with narcissists, they're looking for power and control. And that is really what they're after. And we could go deeper into that, but that's, it's kind of a side, there's another side quest here.
It'd be like another 2 episodes about that.
Yeah. Be another 6 or 8 hours talking about all of that. But with everyone else, with all of the same issues, they're driven by the desire for connection and love. And so yes, there's a lot of people that have, codependency and a lot of other things, which, insecure attachment is a huge one. And they exhibit all kinds of really not healthy behaviors. And and it's all in a desire for love and connection and, and protecting themselves as well, but on a subconscious level. And so
right. They're not intentionally.
Yeah.
We're narcissistic. It's more intentional. You did this, therefore I am doing this. I'm going to hurt you.
Or I'm going to, or this is the way that I get to treat you. And
it's justified in their mind.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they I think, it's very like narcissists view everyone very much like a disposable water bottle. And when they're
It's a
thirsty,
good analogy. Yep.
yeah, when they're thirsty, they really are happy to have that water. And then, they drink the water and then they go throw it in the trash. And for the normal person, okay, yeah, that seems reasonable. You drink the water, you throw it in the trash, throw it in the recycling, whatever. Then you go back, get in your car. Well, that crumpled up water bottle is sitting on your seat that you just threw in and so of course you would be a little upset about it. What are you still doing here? I'm not thirsty right now. I don't need you. And I just threw you away. So, and not to say that that's how anyone should ever treat anyone else, but that's, if you think about it, it's never going to make sense to me that they do that.
Well, it's
and
never
they
going to
view,
make sense to anyone because it's not.
yeah, well, it makes sense to narcissists.
Right, to
Narcissists
them, but
understand
that's
it.
it.
Yeah. Well, and so
It
what
does
I'm
not make
saying
sense
is,
to healthy people. It does
yeah,
not
or
make
for
sense to
the,
kind, empathetic
yeah,
people.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that's,
Which
I
is
think,
partly why you think you're crazy.
yeah. And I think that it's important for all of the rest of the people, aside from the narcissists, all of the rest of the people to understand. I mean, first of all, it's really amazing. It's amazing that you don't understand how you could ever treat anyone else like that, because that means the chances are you're probably not going to treat other people that way. And that's amazing. The other part is to recognize that it doesn't, I mean, we can make sense of this is how they treat people, but that's about as close of understanding as we're probably ever going to get to it. It's never going to make sense completely, which is hard. And they're still going to do it because that's how they treat people.
Right. Right. Yes. Well, one of the things that I did want to talk about is so the victim of the narcissistic abuse.
Yeah.
I see a lot of times that they're not believed.
So much. Yeah.
How do we make people aware? And how do we show some understanding to those people that say, okay, I experienced this. Why do we ignore what they are saying? Or why? I mean, I don't understand the connections there, why we don't believe the victim.
Yeah. I wish.
Why do we really believe that that person is just all amazing? To me, I've always told my kids, and I mean, I tell it to myself too, obviously, but believe actions and not words. Because words don't mean anything.
Yeah. I think the closest that I've come to how we deal with all of this is that we get to find the people who actually will listen and will believe us. And that really sucks to say. I don't like this, but I think it is so much easier, not that it's easy, but it's so much easier to find the people who will listen, who will understand, who will believe you, than it is to try and, because for the majority of the world, they have all their own problems and they don't want to hear about it. I mean, even if they try to act like they want to care or whatever, it's just not, it's not what I've seen. And so, as hard as that is, I think you don't ever, if you get the impression at all that somebody is just not understanding, not wanting to understand, not wanting to listen, not wanting to believe you, any of those things, then you simply just move on to someone else. And it's unfortunate because I think the highest, the best place that you can find people who will actually listen and understand is online. It seems like it is much harder. And especially one of the hard things is that if we didn't grow up in a healthy family and we don't necessarily have healthy people around us, it's very hard for any of them to be healthy enough to actually be supportive for us.
Right.
And
well, and that would mean that they would have to reconcile with their own distortions and their own issues.
And
I really see that a lot.
Yeah. And most of the people that I talk to are the unicorns. That it's
I love
just, I mean, it's just the case because most people do not want to work on it. They don't want to face it. They don't want to talk about it. They just want to, pretend that everything's fine, or we're going to use whatever coping mechanism it is in order to avoid all of that. So if we're, workaholics, or if, hey, trail running, we're going to be trail runners, and we're, and my time in nature, that's my therapist. And I think all of that is great. But, if you really actually want to be healthy, you get to work through all of the things that you've gone through. And so none of those things they're all coping mechanisms, and they are for all of us. And I don't think there's anything wrong with coping mechanisms. I think they're wonderful because they end up keeping us alive. But,
that is true. Yeah.
But at the same time, doing the work to heal is huge. And what I have seen, and what I continue to find, is that it's a rare unicorn who decides to actually do the work in order to actually heal. And it doesn't mean that we're better than anybody else or any of those things.
No,
but
it just means
but
you
it's
want
just
to be better.
We're different. Yeah, we're just different in that way, and we chose.
You don't want to feel that way all the time.
Yeah.
I feel like people get so comfortable with that icky, uncomfortable feeling.
It's normal.
Yeah.
It's normal. That's what's normal. So when
you just rewrite your whole reality to stay in that same exact place.
Yeah. When you have, there's so many people that they have had good people show up in their life, and they won't allow them in, or they won't allow the support, because that doesn't feel normal. And so then it feels icky, even though it
was good.
It was good.
It just feels different.
Yeah. Why can't I have somebody that treats me good and whatever? And they're like, oh, why are you doing all of that? Why are you being so nice to me? This feels icky. I don't like it.
Right. Yeah.
Are you love bombing me? Are you love bombing me? Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I know.
No.
Sometimes the terms can really be taken out of context, but there is a saying like, get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Because when you're not comfortable in a situation, like, it can really propel you into something completely different and change the entire trajectory of your life.
Yeah. Well, and I think one of the things too is, we've been so accustomed to the calm before the storm. I mean, if everything's calm, something's coming. Like something bad is probably going to happen if there's no chaos right now.
Yeah.
And so then when you get into a healthy relationship, it sets off all the alarm bells and buzzers and everything else when everything's
creating it.
Yeah, when everything's just peaceful and calm, then you're like, something's going to happen. Like something bad is about to happen. I know I can feel this. I've been here before. I've experienced this. And the reality is maybe that's just a good person that doesn't like drama and chaos.
Yeah. Well, and we're not meant for drama and chaos.
Yeah.
Our bodies are not meant for it.
Yeah.
And it's okay
for
everything to be okay. But
I
did that too. Like when we came out of this relationship, like with this family relationship, like I would start creating my own chaos and my own drama because my nervous system didn't feel safe enough for things to be calm.
Well,
and it's really surprising what you create.
Yeah, and that's a coping mechanism in and of itself. This feels really uncomfortable, so I need to create a little chaos in my life, because also I'm having all these feelings, and this is all subconscious stuff. We don't recognize this, but everything's calming down and all those feelings are coming up. And so now I need some drama so that I can push all of those emotions that are coming back up that I really don't like. Those do not feel good. And so I need something in order to push them away.
Yeah. So true. Oh my gosh. Do you have any words of wisdom, advice that you would like to leave people with? And
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, and this is something that I say every single day, is being kind to yourself. And I think the other thing is understanding that most all of these things that we want are all things that we allow. And it's so you can't force yourself to be kind to yourself. You can't force yourself to heal. You can't force yourself to work through the emotions. None of these things happen with force. They're all things where you allow. So you allow yourself to be kind to you. You allow yourself to let go of the emotions, to allow good people into your life, to allow yourself to love yourself. And the best analogy I've come up with is a hug. And you've had those hugs with a good friend, and you allow them to hug you, and they just hold you. And that's something, you get to allow them to hug you, and they allow you to hug them. And we've all felt those other hugs where you go to hug somebody and
and you're like,
there's that resistance,
your
and
whole body is like tensing
they
up.
just
Yeah.
don't, yeah. And that's always, for us, the resistance that comes up. And that's us not allowing ourselves to go through the process that we need to go through.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably it's like that over and over and over and over and over again for the rest of our lives.
Yeah.
And
and noticing and being self-aware enough to notice when you start feeling that resistance. When you start feeling your body tensing up.
Yeah, and the other part of it, so much practice. And I think the other part is you're going to beat yourself up, and you're going to do a lot, and you're going to do it over and over again, and you're going to recognize more and more that you're beating yourself up, and you're going to beat yourself up for beating yourself up. And it's all okay. I mean, it's not what we want to do. It's not the bet, but that is going to happen. And I think that's one of the hardest things, because I recognize as we become more aware, everyone beats themselves up, and then they beat themselves up for beating themselves up.
Yes.
And that's when you step back to kindness again.
Right.
And, it's like, well, hold on. That's enough. I'm going to be kind to me now in this moment.
And remembering that healing isn't linear.
Yeah.
You're going to circle back. You're going to jump 20 steps forward, and then you're going to jump 50 steps back. And you're going to feel like you worked through all. I got it. I'm good. I worked through the things. And then everything, all the wheels are going to come off again. And you're gonna uncover the next thing. And that's the process. It's a roller coaster. And it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. And we just want to make sure, to the best of our ability, we don't get thrown out of the roller coaster. We just want to just enjoy the ride of all of the excitement of the ups and downs.
Right. Well, and really, we are here to feel all of the emotions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes, the sad ones, the angry ones. Yes, they're uncomfortable. They kind of stink, but we are here to feel it.
Yeah.
It's okay to feel it.
Yeah.
And that's, I feel too, like, even if you suspect that you have some of these issues in your life, like if you feel like you're crazy, if the person around you is making you feel like you're crazy, if you feel like you're always the problem, if you're just not sure even about where to put the next foot in front of the other, like find someone to talk to, like, and not even talking to your best friend, because your best friend is going to feed into the patterns that you've already had for the last 20 years or however long you've been friends with them.
Yeah.
Talk to someone who is completely neutral.
Yeah.
talking to a coach, like somebody like you,
Mhm.
talking to a therapist, talking
Mhm.
to somebody else completely neutral who can take a look at the whole picture and help you take a look at these
Mhm.
things from 60,000 feet.
Mhm. And also, do not ever hesitate or be afraid if they are not helping you in a way that seems helpful to simply go find someone else. Because there are a lot of people out there that are in helping industries that are maybe not so helpful. And it's across the board. I mean, finding somebody that really understands this and will understand what you went through and understand how to help you through it. If you feel like they're not listening, or they're, immediately pointing back to, what was your part in this? Why do you think they behaved this way? Was there something that you did here? If they start off with any of that stuff, just leave and go find somebody else,
Yeah, and
because
you
that
have
is,
permission to do that.
yes,
You don't
absolutely.
need somebody else's permission to do that, because
Yeah,
it seems like, yes, I am
yeah,
so glad you brought that up,
yeah.
because it seems like so oftentimes you get stuck with that
Mhm.
in
Yeah,
that
yeah.
scenario,
Well, I
because you
found
don't know
somebody. Yeah,
how, you don't
yeah.
know how to give yourself enough permission
Yep,
to be like, oh,
yep,
this isn't working for me.
yep. Yeah, and another thing, is like the trust, Trust and safety is like number 1 for me.
Hmm.
And so I upfront tell all of my clients that you have no business trusting me until I have earned it.
Yeah,
Like, that is,
right.
I mean, it is, and that is your permission, and for you to understand that I do not expect, you just having the conversation with you. I expect absolutely that until I have earned the trust, that you don't trust me. Of
Sure.
course, that's, but there are a lot of people, and maybe they have some fancy certificate or whatever else, and you need to trust me, of course, because I know what I'm talking about. And that trust is earned and it's built. And so that's it's a really big thing with finding somebody that's good, that can help you. And the other thing that I do have to touch on also is, because I'm a
Mhm.
guy, and I understand, and I understand that there are a lot of women that have no desire at all to work with me because I'm a guy.
Sure.
And
And that's
um,
fair.
yeah, and I don't have any, I have zero issues with that. I you know I also, I know that I don't understand. As much as I understand, I know that I don't understand. and
Right.
and that's okay. And at the very same time, one of the things that I'm trying to do more and more is to find other people who I trust enough that I can say, oh, go do this person. And it's a high level of trust, because I am not going to just refer anybody that I'm not really certain is really safe, because it's a huge thing. I know what it's like to go talk to somebody and have them tell you, I'm sure this is just a misunderstanding and you need to go talk to your wife. and
Right.
and I will never refer anyone to anyone that is not completely safe, that I really trust. So that's, but anyway, I don't take offense if somebody doesn't want to work with me. I still would be happy to help if I can, if I have somebody else that I can refer to. Happy to do that, or any other resources, because it does not matter to me if you work with me, if you work with whoever else. It matters to me that the people get help, that want help, and that need the help.
Yeah, I agree. And the healthier we get, the healthy our society gets.
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean, this is how the world changes, actually.
yeah,
It's
yes.
one
It changes with
person.
you.
Yep. One
Yeah,
person at a time.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Exactly. And I love this conversation. Thank you so much. This
You're
was
welcome.
a very safe conversation and very helpful. I feel like I hope that there's a lot of takeaways for people from this. And I hope that you find Kyle online. And even if you just have a question for him,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
just take a look,
absolutely. Happy to,
at his content, because sometimes we just need to look at some content and see what they're doing to make it make sense, and to even get a
yeah.
feel for if that person is right for us, or, in the situation. But
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me on. And yeah, happy to talk with anybody. KyleMillerCoaching.com. You can reach out, find me all over social media, all over the place.
yeah, yes, and we will have all of
Yeah.
his boxes listed and links
Yeah.
put in the show notes and everything. So yes, make sure you check him out if this resonates with you. Thank you so much, Kyle. You are a delight.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to today's episode. And remember, you are never just an anything.